Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's sharing of Harmonize to Energize. I hope you can all hear me okay. Let me know if you can or not, as the case may be. Anyway, my name is Terry Matthews. I work here at the international headquarters of Jin Shin Jyutsu in Scottsdale, Arizona. And today, I'm really going to pull together the threads of what we've all been, those of you that have been attending, sharing for the past, Lord knows how long, but self-help book 2 and the information therein. It was really wonderful to share the presentation last week with Linda, who brought us to Safety Energy Lock 26, which in this system is the final safety energy lock that we harmonize. I just wanted to mention, out of curiosity, let's get the slides going. Those of you that have been here from the get-go will know that when we do a breath, when we do an exhale, followed by an inhale, we're moving energy from the 4s through the 15s to the 7s, the big toe. 15 is groin, big toes, self-explanatory, and the 4s is the occipital lobe. Well, you may or may not have realized that 4, 15, and 7, when added together, equal 26. So there's method to this wisdom of full body breathing from 4, 15, and 7. It is a complete breath. So we always work within this context when we're doing any kinds of breathing practices with Jin Shin Jyutsu, so that we include the full dimension of the 26 safety energy locks. Now today, to pull the threads together, which I mentioned earlier, we're going to look at 3 holds or 3 positions or 3 flows, which really summarize the content of Self-Help Book 2. And you may have noticed, if you've studied Self-Help Book 2 at all, that there are several safety energy locks that turn up more than once when Mary is offering practices to open and harmonize individual safety energy locks. And they are, generally speaking, the 15 and the 1 and the 19. And there are 3 positions that you can practice which will help release the hip line 15, the waistline 19 and 1, and the bust line high 19 and high 1. And that really encapsulates Jin Shin Jyutsu in a nutshell. Bust line, waistline, hip line, the movement of energy 4, 15, and 7, 7, 15, 23, and 4 goes through the bust line, waistline, hip line. So without further ado, let's have a look at those slides, which will show you what we're going to practice. Here we are, 11 and 15, or 11, 3, and 15. So one arm, in this case it's my right arm, hooks over the left shoulder, either onto the shoulder like a coat hanger or just below the shoulder level there, below the 11 to the 3, and the left, whoops, trying a new mic, maybe not such a great idea, and the left hand going into the hip line for the 15. That will be the first practice we do with 9 exhalation inhalations today. The next one will be, I know the illustration doesn't look that accurate, but it basically is going to represent the elbow joint 19 with the opposite 1 to open the waistline, okay? And then finally, same diagram, but a little more accurate for what we're going to talk about now. The high 19, which is above the shoulder joint here, high above on the tricep level, and the opposite high 1, so that's above the 1. And then we'll draw the practice to a close with the hug, the 26, bringing us back to completion with the 26, which is, for anyone who's new, holding the fingers on the edge of the shoulder blade, the thumb underneath the shoulder girdle. And if it's too difficult to do both at once, you take one hand away and you actually go on that high 1. So, why not let us begin? So, as I said, we do multiples of 9 exhalation inhalations. For those of you that are new, Mary Burmeister invested a lot of her interests in the understanding of numbers, and the number 9 represents the end of a cycle, beginning of new. And each time we do 9 exhalations, inhalations with whatever practice, we move into the space of moving on to the new, the transformation. And the space is exactly where the transformation takes place. And so the very first process practice that we will use today is we will start with 11 to 15, because if you understand that in this practice, as we exhale, energy goes down the front, and as we inhale, energy goes up the back, we want to remove roadblocks from preventing energy to go down the front and up the back. So it makes sense to start with the lowest common denominator on the body, at the hip line, releasing the hip line, then releasing the waistline, then releasing the bust line. You can do it the other way. Release the bust line, release the waistline, the hip line. To me, I find it more ergonomic, efficient, whatever word you want to use, to start releasing the hip. And there's major energy pathways that need to go through the 15s, particularly the regeneration flows. And we don't want to prevent them from doing their job, do we? So 11 and 15, or 11, 3 and 15. Choose your side. Have a feel around your shoulder area. See which is tightest, this one with the 15 or this one with the 15. And whichever one it is, doobie, that's the one that we'll practice with, or you'll practice with. I'll just do what the heck I like. I'll just do this. So it's good when we're practicing the 9 exhalations, inhalations 4 times, that we keep our posture as straight as we can to allow the spiral of light, which literally spirals down the front of the body and up the back in a clockwise spiral, needs the most cleanest, clearest access. So keep the spine as straight as you can. It's like energy spins down and connects with all these different light stations, if you like, termini, which we call the main central, and fills them like a light bulb, like a golden light bulb, with energy. So we want to make sure that we can allow that to happen. And keep the back straight. It's good to close your eyes, knock out any ESP that you don't need, or intrasensory perception you don't need either. Drop your shoulders if you can. If you need a cushion to support yourself, do whatever it takes. Drop those shoulders, and as Mary did so often, smile, which will open up the Steiner method. And yes, Kathy Ann, you can do this lying down if you wish. Jin Shin Jyutsu is infinitely flexible in terms of posture. You can lay down, do this. You can sit up, do this. You can stand up, do this. You can spin around and do this like the Sufis do, but I'm not going to suggest we will today. So closing the eyes, or the mince pies, if you're a Cockney, closing the mince pies. And just exhale and feel those shoulders sinking through the 15s to the 7s, and then on the return journey, the inhale, receiving cosmic purified breath, 7, 15, and 4. Or as it goes up the back, it's more likely 7, 15, 2 or 15, 23. The whole hip line, pelvic area. So let's do it for 9. Here we go. Exhale. And this is a let it go, let it go, let it go in order to grow something new. And then we inhale to purify what we've just built, because we want to expand our consciousness one step more each time. And we just letting go of dirt, dust, greasy grime, all that unnecessary. Well, it was necessary then, but now it's not. Let it go in order to grow something new, fresh. Inhale and purify that. Good Lord, we're never satisfied, are we? It's the nature of the mind to want to progress. But the reality is we're purifying every aspect of our being in order to allow more light to shine within and then without. We're veritable lighthouses, except if we had all the 7 lights on and we were in the middle of the ocean, it would probably confuse the shipping lanes. So they have one light at the top. But we know the light is totally from head to toe, skin to bone. Don't do anything, just be something or not. And ultimately, when we reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, we become the no thing. And in the 9th depth space, we can just be the observer of where we are, how we feel, and have no judgment on it. It is what it is. As Mary would often say, it is what it is, and as it is, it is. Just learn to be comfortable with being whatever is at that particular moment in time. So the hip line has begun to open up. Now let's look at the waistline. It's sometimes easier just to follow the same side when you're doing this practice. So I'm going to hold my left 19 here with my opposite 1, which is inside of the knee. And we'll do 9 exhalation inhalations that way. Here we go. Remember, it's a whole body breath, adding up to 26, 4, 15, and 7. Complete breath. And remember, when you're placing your hands, wherever you're placing them, in this case the elbow and the inside of the knee, left or right, the safety energy lock dimensionally is the width of the palm of your hand, not mine. And just allow that idea of expanded field of energy. Expand further. And your fingertips, or the palms of your hand, are picking up pulsations of life energy. Yes, it is the blood, but the blood follows the life energy in this understanding, in the energy pathways. But the pulse is very much sounding the same as the radial artery pulse. And continue with the exhale down the front, letting go in order to grow, purifying as you inhale what you've just grown in order to let go again. Isn't it lovely? Well, I hope it's lovely for you. It is for me. Feeling the energy that I don't need, transforming into what I might need. And sooner or later, you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation. And by then, generally speaking, with this kind of practice, if you hadn't felt the pulse of the energy stroke blood before, you probably do now. But even if you don't worry. Don't stop breathing out. It will happen. All things come to those who wait. Patience. Along with discernment, probably the strongest quality you can ever develop. Patience and discernment. PD. All right, just become the observer on the 9th exhalation, inhalation. Feel where you be. And feelings, as you know, are registered normally in the heart. So how are you feeling in your heart? Well, if you're feeling a little depressed, we're going to change all that now, because the third practice is a bus line practice, which will affect your heart. High 19 and opposite high 1. So we hold them and we breathe out. Drop shoulders. And relax, relax. As Frankie, who went to Hollywood, said, relax, don't do it. Be it. He didn't sing that, but truth, that's what the truth fairy told me. Let it be. The doing becomes the being, doobie-doobie-doo. And funnily enough, we can hear the whispers of words of wisdom when we're very peaceful. The body becomes more still. You might even hear grass grow. And feel your muscles relaxing. Your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in now to allow all that tension that we tend to generate in our lives just melt. Adrenal tension tightens the muscles. This kind of practice melts the muscles, or melts the tension in the muscles, to be precise. So now you've done a complete body breath for another 9 exhalation inhalations. You've covered bust line, waistline, and hip line in reverse order: hip line, waistline, bust line. So now energy can more congruently move down the front and up the back. Well done. Congratulate yourself. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. The 26 is all complete. And this is what we do. Thumbs under the shoulder girdle, fingers on the side or the edge of the shoulder blade. Exhale, inhale 9 times. Here we go. All that tension is melt away. And we renew with the inhalation. I'm a new being. And so as you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, giving yourself the hug, you have succeeded in allowing the energy to move down the front, up the back at least 36 times. And if you're still not feeling a pulse, no problem. You just carry on or not. There's no judgment here. The energy moves in relation to how much practice it has in moving, really. So practice makes progress. So never get stuck with 36. You can do it for more multiples. 9 seems to be a good number to practice with, but you can multiply it up to 108 if you want. Be your own testimony, which is what we all possibly would like to be every minute of the day. So now at this point, just a quick mention that the daylight saving times begins on the 14th, this Sunday, over here in the US of A. Arizona stays the same. We'll still be at 11 o'clock, but New York time will be 2 o'clock instead of 1 o'clock starting from next Friday avec Harmonize, 2Energize. And bear that in mind as we look at sharing what's going on in the Jin Shin world generally. So let's have a look at all the upcoming online events. Well, next Saturday, Anita will be presenting Reignite, Re-Energize, a webinar on Jin Shin Jyutsu and quarantine burnout. And yours truly, i.e. moi, will be the host, and Chandra will be supporting me if some of you sign up at the last minute, which you can, of course, do. Register today, 35. Living the Art, the 3-day class. Well, it may be a little longer than that. Yes, it is. But normally live was a 3-day class to help you really strengthen your insight into self-help. And once you've completed that, you would become a certified self-help teacher. And you can put that on your resume. And it starts March the 19th and it's taught by Sarah Harper from Tucson, who many of you have probably studied with recently. There's the tuition, there's the dates, there's the organizers. Register today if you want. Then beginning the day after, March 20th, we're being spoiled. Jin Shin Jyutsu and your astrological matrix. Online special topic class with the one and only Peter Almendorf. And this is going to be through the window of astrology. And let's have a quick look. Join us and discover new perspectives on how to choose Jin Shin Jyutsu flows based on the location of the planets in your chart. No prior knowledge of astrology needed, but prior to the class, you'll download your natal chart from the internet, unless you have one. Peter, however, will not do personal chart readings in this class. There's the tuition, there's the dates. Gary Strauch and Susan Skanger are your organizers. Register today if you want. And finally, if you've missed an online offering, you can see all the previous ones by clicking on one of these links here. I just want to remind people, we send, or Casey will send out all the links for these classes, and often many of you are saying, oh, I didn't get the link. I just want to say that you can always look in your spam. Spam folders often acquire the links that you need. And the information you need, it should be on the receipt, okay? The link included, I'm told. We will do our best to support you, though, if for some reason you cannot find your link. But spam it. Check it just in case it's gone there. And if you can, I wouldn't leave signing up to the last minute, because as all the people are coming on, especially to the Zoom webinars, the bandwidth is being used up. So be smart, and if you're going to sign up at the last minute, it may be a little bit of a slower process for you, but it should go smoothly if you click all the right buttons. And those of you that have already registered, I would get in the room at least quarter of an hour beforehand. All right. So good. So thank you very much for sharing with me the content of Self-Help Book 2. Next week, I will begin looking at aspects of Self-Help Book 3, and I will likely, ever so likely, start with the mudras, all those wonderful holds that Jiro Murai, or some of which Jiro Murai used when he harmonized himself when he was unwell all those years ago. So if you like what we're doing here, join us again next Friday, but remember it will be 2 o'clock New York time, not 1 o'clock, and I'll be here presenting aspects of Self-Help Book 3. And at some point, date to be mentioned in the future, date to be announced, I will actually do an online self-help class where I'll cover all 3 books, and I may well do it with Sarah Harper, who I used to teach with here at the office. So keep an eye out for that if that interests you too. So good. Good. It's all good. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I hope you're still staying safe. They say it's getting easier to walk around with a mask if you've got the COVID, without a mask if you've got the COVID-19 vaccination here in the US of A. But anyway, times are still fairly stressful, so be smart, be wise, be discerning, exhale, drop your shoulders, and keep smiling even if you've got a mask on, because the smile brings in more light at the back of the head, which goes down the front and up the back. And that's what we want. We want those spirals of light. We want those spirals of light to come in and feed us as they go through the main central and all the energy pathways to feed all the organs and help us feel harmonized. All right. Happy rest of the day. Happy rest of the week. And if I see you next Friday, that'll be wonderful. Otherwise, bonjour, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, ta-ta, cheerio, and thank you.